Welcome to Botania, a magical tech mod where flowers fuel your power. Botania isn't just a mod, it's magic in bloom. From the moment you step into your world, you're surrounded by vibrant flora and a sense of wonder that sets it apart from every other tech or magic mod out there. Where others rely on industrial machines and dark rituals, Botania turns flowers into your tools, your weapons, and your power source. It's beautifully designed, deeply integrated, and incredibly rewarding to dive into. Whether you're creating dazzling mana-powered contraptions, summoning ancient bosses, or simply admiring the kaleidoscope of functional flora, Botania makes you feel like a nature mage in a fairy tale forest. And the best part? It's all done without breaking immersion. No clunky UIs or overcomplicated systems, just you, your Lexica Botania, and a garden full of possibilities. First things first, let's craft the Lexica Botania by combining any sapling with a book and a crafting table. This is your go-to manual for everything in Botania, and anything I teach you here can be found within its pages. Next, you'll need a ton of the Botania flowers, and you're going to want to collect mystical flowers in all 16 colors. Trust me, grab as many as you can early on. You can go flower hunting, or you can simply craft floral fertilizer. Floral fertilizer is crafted with any dye, 4 dye, and a bone meal, like so. To use it, all you have to do, let's just break some of these flowers that we don't need, and then you can right-click on grass to make any mystical flowers grow. Once you have an inventory full of mystical flowers, you're going to need somewhere to put them. So we're going to want to craft a flower pouch. It requires 5 wool and a mystical petal of any color. It will automatically store any mystical flowers that you break into your inventory, so your inventory or bags don't overflow. When you right-click it, it will open and show you all of the flowers that you've collected. Now for the core of Botania. You're going to want to craft a Petal apothecary. It requires 6 cobblestone and a mystical flower of any color. You fill it full of water to craft your first functioning flora. Toss in the right petals, seeds, and bam! You've got your first functional flora. You can right-click it with an empty hand to auto-refill the recipe as long as the ingredients are in your inventory and it's full of water. To craft the Pure Daisy requires 4 white petals and 1 seed. The Pure Daisy can purify any stone or wood blocks placed in the 8 blocks around it. I would suggest crafting 2 or 3 or more, as it takes time to process and you'll need a ton of living rock and living wood. So 4 mystical petals tossed in, 2, 3, 4, and 1 seed. Refilling it full of water, and you can right-click with an empty hand to add back the last recipe. Like so. Toss in your seeds again, and there you go, you've got another one. To use the Pure Daisy, you're going to want to place stone around it, like so, as well as logs. And then wait and see the magic happen. Isn't that amazing? Now you have your first living rock and living wood. And the first thing you're going to want to do is craft living wood twigs out of the living wood logs. All it requires is 2 living wood logs, and you're going to need 3 of these living wood twigs because you're going to make a wand of the forest. 3 living wood twigs and 2 mystical petals of any color, and you have your first wand of the forest. As you can see here, mine is in function mode, but you can shift right-click to make it into bind mode, or shift right-click again to make it into function mode. Bind mode allows the user to bind any two Botania blocks, such as the mana spreader, to a mana pool. Function mode means shift right-clicking with the wand on a mana pool toggles the direction of mana transfer between the pool and dropped items. When held, the wand also gives you extra information, like how much mana is in a mana pool, what a flower is doing, or progress on a botanical brewery. If shift right-clicking with the wand would not have any effect on the targeted block, it will toggle the wand's mode between function and bind, like I showed you. To store mana, you're going to want to craft a mana pool. Using 5 living rock in this shape, it holds up to 1,000,000 mana, which is 100 times more than a diluted pool. I wouldn't recommend making a diluted pool. Although they are supposed to be the precursor to the mana pool, making the mana pool is simply easier. After making your mana pools, you'll want to make a mana spreader, which requires 6 living wood logs, as well as 1 mystical white petal or any color, and a copper ingot. It transmits mana from one source to another. It directs mana bursts to other blocks or devices that need it, such as functional flora, and can be controlled to aim and adjust the range of its mana transmissions. To start producing mana early on, I would recommend making endo flames, which give mana at the cost of anything burnable dropped near them. Though blocks of coal burn for the longest and give the most mana. Endo flames are very simple to make. All you need is 1 red petal, 2 brown petals, and a light gray petal, placed in a petal apothecary, and a seed. Has to be thrown in last to make it. Here I've placed down 4 of them. When setting up an automated mana generation system for endo flames, you're going to want to use coal blocks for longer periods of continuous mana production without needing frequent blocks dropped. You can set up an auto dropper to drop the blocks of coal onto your endo flames at frequent intervals using an hourglass and a dropper full of coal and a little bit of sand. All I have to do here is, as you can see, these endo flames are connected to this mana spreader, which is connected to this mana pool, and when I add the sand to the hourglass and step back, it will start dropping coal into my endo flames, which are producing mana. Later on, you can craft a thermal lily, which requires lava nearby to function. However, they require runes to be crafted. I prefer using Rosa Arcanas early on, which eat experience. They're like the next tier flower that I would recommend. I have them set up downstairs. To connect your functional flora to a mana spreader, all you're going to want to do is place down a mana spreader and then make sure your Wand of the Forest is in bind mode and shift right click your flower to your mana spreader and then shift right click your mana spreader to your mana pool. Make sure that all of your flowers say that they're connected with a little green check mark on the bottom when you're looking at them. And then the mana spreader should have mana going in and out, as you can see by the green sparkles. And the mana pool should be slowly filling up, like so. Your first major goal is to craft mana steel, mana diamonds, and mana pearls. Once your pool has mana, start throwing in iron to get mana steel, diamonds to get mana diamonds, and ender pearls to get mana pearls. You'll need at least 1 of each for the next big milestone. You're going to want to craft a runic altar. You should have enough mana to begin crafting runes as you need, but crafting runes requires a runic altar. To make a runic altar, all you need is either a mana diamond or a mana pearl, and 5 living rock to get a runic altar. I have all mine set up downstairs. The runic altar requires items to craft runes, but you finish every craft off with a living rock tossed in the center of the altar, which you click with your Wand of the Forest. As you can see here, this altar has enough mana, so if I toss down a living rock, it would craft me a rune. You're going to want to build a terrestrial agglomeration plate. You're going to need it to craft Terrasteel, and the Terrasteel agglomeration plate requires 3 blocks of lapis, 1 mana steel block, and 5 runes, a rune of water, earth, mana, air, and fire. You're going to want to place the plate in the center of a setup like so, with 5 living rock and 4 blocks of lapis lazuli. The plate goes on the center when you're done crafting it. To make the rune of water, what you're going to want to do is to toss a mana powder, bone meal, mana steel, sugarcane, and fishing rod. Then you're also going to want to craft the rune of fire, which is mana powder, gunpowder, netherrack, mana steel, and nether brick. The rune of earth requires a mushroom, a block of coal, mana powder, mana steel, and a stone. The rune of air requires a carpet, a string, a feather, mana powder, and a mana steel. And the rune of mana requires 5 mana steel and 1 mana pearl to craft. To power them, you can use your setup like so. This is a Rosa Arcana, and you can just simply connect it to your runic altar. As you can see here, it's filling up my runic altar with power or mana. And there you go. As you can see, that one's ready to craft as well. Then you simply just need to toss down a living rock in the center, like so, and tap it with your wand. And there we go. I have a rune of water all ready. Once you have your Terrasteel agglomeration plate, you can grab it, throw it down. Make sure that you add a spark above your Terrasteel agglomeration plate to transfer mana. And don't connect mana spreaders to each other. You'll lose a ton of mana that way. All you need to do now to make Terrasteel is you need a mana pearl, a mana diamond, and a mana steel. Place down like so. And there you go. Once you've made some Terrasteel, you can craft Terrasteel armor, a portal to Alfheim, and a Terrasteel pickaxe, also called a Terra Shatterer. The portal to Alfheim is fairly simple. All you're going to need to do is to craft your living wood logs into living wood. Using that living wood, you're going to need 3 glimmering living wood with glowstone dust and living wood. Then you're also going to need 1 Elven gateway core, which requires 6 living wood logs and 3 Terrasteel nuggets, and you're going to place it like so, with an Elven gateway core, 2 living wood, 2 more living wood like so, 2 glimmering living wood, 2 regular living wood, and then 2 more living wood above, and a glimmering living wood at the top. Then you click it once you have enough mana in your mana pools, and turn it on with your wand. And it glows green. The portal to Alfheim doesn't teleport you, but allows you to exchange items with the Elven realm. Just don't walk into it. To power the portal to Alfheim, all you need to do is place 2 mana pools next to it, with about 200,000 mana total, and then you're going to need 2 Natura pylons above those. Natura pylons are fairly simple to craft. They only require 3 Terrasteel nuggets, 1 Eye of Ender, and a mana pylon. And the mana pylons are literally just 2 gold, 2 mana steel, and a mana diamond. And you're going to want to right-click the Elven Gateway core with your Wand of the Forest to turn it on. It costs 200,000 mana to open, but only a small amount to stay active. If it runs out of mana, or if you break any part, it will shut down. The first thing you should throw in the portal is your Lexica Botania. The elves will upgrade it, will return your Lexica Botania upgraded with new content. Exchanging items through the portal is very simple, you just have to throw them through. If it's a valid trade, the portal will consume 500 mana and return an upgraded item back out through the portal. If it's not valid, the item is either lost or it will just be thrown back. 1 living wood in the portal becomes 1 dream wood. 2 mana steel, become 1 elementium. 2 mana steel blocks, become 1 elementium block. 1 mana pearl, becomes 1 pixie dust. 1 mana diamond, becomes 1 dragonstone. 1 mana diamond block, becomes 1 dragonstone block. And 1 mana glass, becomes 1 elf glass. All of these ingredients are key to upgrading your Botania items, so be sure to trade as much as you need. And that wraps up our guide on how to begin your journey with Botania. By now you should have your flower pouch filled, your mana generation underway, and a solid understanding of the early game mechanics. Botania is full of beautiful magic and powerful tools and tech just waiting to be discovered. So take your time, experiment, and enjoy the process. If this guide helped you get started, feel free to share it with your fellow adventurers. Be sure to check out my other videos for mana generation on the automated Shulk-Me-Not setup, the Entrepinium setup, as well as any other guides for Prominence Hasturian era. Don't forget to subscribe for more content and drop a comment if you have questions, suggestions, or just want to share how your Botania journey is going. And remember, when in doubt, throw more flowers at it. Thanks.